Hey everybody, welcome back to my deeper dive video on my exit indicators part 2. If you didn't see the first part, I will leave the link below in the comments, and I'd suggest starting there and then coming back to watch this one, because that's where we talk about these 4 indicators here and how to use them as exits. But I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with that in this part 2. This time, what I want to share with you is some of the backtesting work I did over the weekend. I was just curious. I have backtested the RVI alone with my algorithm, obviously before I started forward testing, but I've never just backtested the exits on their own. And so I thought, well, let's just backtest them for 20 trades. It's not anything fancy, it's manual, but we can get a good idea. So here's what I did. Here's how I did it. First of all, I based entries on crosses of the baseline. And I looked for pretty good trends, like pretty long streaks, so that I could really evaluate these different exit points. And I did this for 20 different trades. So what I would do is, the first thing I do is I'd say, okay, if I entered here, according to the baseline exit, I would have gotten out here soon as it crossed and closed. So that gave me 223 pips. Okay, so then I would write that down for trade number 1. And then I'd say, okay, I'm in this same trade, but this time I'm going to be looking at my RVI. And when my RVI crossed here, okay, that next candle, I took that and measured and said, okay, it's about 104 pips. And I marked that down. Then I did the same thing for my BBPRC here in the middle. Came along, and if you look right there is the cross. Okay, and I showed you all this in the other video, but this is just how I got the numbers. So I bring that down and say that was about 268 pips. And last but not least, I looked at my Heikinashi here. And right here was the exit for the Heikinashi. So I would have gotten out here. And that was 110 pips. So I did that, and then I went along, and I did another one, and I did it for 20 trades. And I just thought, let's mark down how many pips, whether they were positive or negative, we ended up with. And here are my results. Again, you can see I based my entries on the baseline cross, took 20 trades, and here are the numbers stacked up next to each other. This is simply a baseline cross to a baseline cross, number of pips. This is my RVI results, this is my BBPRC results, and this is my Heikinashi results. Now, what's really interesting is I highlighted all the cells that lost money on anything. And you can see that when one lost, usually they all lost. There's a couple of exceptions here and there, but they're pretty consistent. So that tells me, that's kind of interesting, that they're following suit. But drum roll please, if you haven't figured it out yet, the winner was BBPRC. Okay, this is BBPRC. This was our baseline. I'm just typing these in so you know what they are. This was the RVI. And this was our Heikinashi oscillator. Now look at the differences here. It's quite a bit of difference. BBPRC gave us an overall of over 2,000 pips. Baseline was next with 1696. And then the Heikinashi, and coming up last was RVI. Interesting, because that's the one I started my algorithm with. So what does this all mean to me? What does it mean to you? Well, you need to decide. You need to think about what kind of exit indicator will work best for you. As you can see with these numbers, that even though a lot of times you get more pips, maybe, when it went in your favor, you would also lose more pips when it went against you. So that's the type of thing you need to balance out. But what I have decided, drum roll please, I'm going to drop, believe it or not, these other exit indicators, and I'm only going to have BBPRC on my chart. And I will continue to go in with my entries the way I always have. But this time, I'm not going to be moving stop losses. I'm not going to be trailing stops. I am strictly going to either go out on the baseline cross or go out on my BBPRC cross, whichever comes first. Interesting. So wish me luck. We'll see how I do. I figure I've got a couple more months of forward testing, so we'll see if that works out better for me. But I figure something like this is much less judgmental, much more cut and dry, and I'm hoping for good results. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, and if you guys have any suggestions for other exits that work really well for you, please share them in the comments. So you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you later. Thanks.